What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. We are here to talk about the Real Housewives of Miami season 7, episode 6. And the name of the episode is called Major Red Flags. Now, I know what I said if y'all was on Patreon yesterday. I know what I said. I said that I was going to do episode 6 and episode 7 together because last night, episode 7 ended up coming out. But after thinking about it, I know that I don't like to edit. And I think it'll be easier for me. I don't know how long, I don't really know how long my review is going to be. And so I can get long winded sometimes and I can get through with a review and it'll be 42 minutes. And it'll be taking me all day to edit a 42-minute review. So I said, let me just go ahead and do episode 6 and then do episode 7 by itself. So once I get ready to edit the video, it won't be so long and I get overwhelmed and just say fuck it. Because I will say fuck it. Fuck it. But again, we are here to talk about Real Housewives of Miami, season 7, episode 6, and the name of the episode is called Major Red Flags. Now, I only saw the episode one time, and I saw the episode last week. So I know I always say that we're not going to touch everything, but we're really not going to touch everything. I was thinking about what happened in the episode today when I was at the gym, and I was writing it down, and that's what I got. Okay, but I do think I got every scene in, but it was only stuff that stuck out to me. So of course, Alexia was planning this Greek goddess party, and the girls were late because remember, Lisa ended up showing up over 2 hours late. I believe it was 2 hours and 30 minutes. Lisa ended up showing up over 2 hours late, and so the girls ended up having to come to the event late. And I thought Alexia was gonna act a fool, but she didn't. I'm surprised that she wasn't leaving because the girls are arriving in late or arriving in as late as they did. Girl, Lisa, get in there. It's a narcissist party. Everybody think that it's about what is her husband name? Todd. Everybody think the party is about Todd. She said, no, the party is not about Todd. It's about each of us. We are all a narcissist. They had a message in there that really resonated with me. It was about an empath, and it's about a true empath to somebody who usually set boundaries or something of the sort, and they end up worrying about hurting the other person. And that is me at times. Most of the time, especially when it has to do with family members and friends and spouses. If a spouse is, when I consider somebody a true spouse, is somebody that I'm really into. But with my parents, well, with my mom and my siblings, I can set boundaries sometimes, or I feel like they can be totally wrong. And I speak my mind and say how I feel, but I'm worried about hurting their feelings, even though I feel like they overstepped or they ended up hurting my feelings. I feel like if I do it back, I'm worried about them. But sometimes with spouses, if it's not working out and I want to call it quits, I don't want to be seen as hurting the person, so I'll just start acting up. I'll just start acting up. Or if I'm talking to somebody and I don't think that it's working, but I feel like if they really like me a little bit too much, I'll just ghost them. I know I need to work on that. That's just me though. Even sometimes in friendships or whatever, I just don't feel the need for explanations a lot of times because I found that sometimes when you tell people how you feel, that's when the gaslighting starts. And because I know what I feel and I know what happened and I know what I experienced. And then they'll try to gaslight you. Well, I didn't really, yeah, you did. You did. I feel like I'm a logical, insane person and I'm a practical person. You did what you did. And so I don't got time for the gaslight. And sometimes when it's done more than one time, I just feel like that we didn't mesh. And so it's time to break, right? But I'm still always worried about how they're feeling. And so I'll just, instead of me hurting your feelings and telling you that I don't really want to talk to you no more, whatever, I'll just ghost you. I thought that they played this game when they had red flags. I thought that this was supposed to be an event where we was going to do work on all of the ladies, but with this game that they had planned, it just seemed like they were just attacking each other, and it seemed like Lisa bore the brunt, or she was singled out in this game. I thought that the game was horrible, and Lisa was playing she was the victim in this one though. She was a victim. I don't think that they should have all ganged up on Lisa like that. I don't think that the game was needed. But in my head and watching reality TV as long as I have, I think that they probably were working on themselves and doing self work. See, they should have had Ayala there working on the girls. That's a woman who would have had the women working on themselves and doing their real work because she helps me do my work. Instead of having them work, I believe that he probably did help them do some work on themselves, but this was for Bravo. This is what we wanted for reality TV where somebody was singled out and it was Lisa. It was the point when they was here on the trip where the women had separated, and I think that they were, I forget who it was, but I know for sure Julia and Guerdy was sitting next to each other, and they was either trying to talk to Larsa about what was going on with her and Lisa, or they was talking to somebody, and Julia tried to bridge the gap between the girls, and she tried to use her and Guerdy as an example, and Guerdy got the over talking again.
Shut up! Shut up!
I want Guerdy to shut up sometimes. She was wrong. She was wrong, but baby, Guerdy can talk. Guerdy can talk. Girl, I'm looking at you sideways. And I haven't seen episode 7 yet, so I'm gonna watch episode 7 once I get through editing this review and putting it out. I'm gonna watch episode 7, and I'm gonna try to have that review up before Saturday at least. Guerdy does a lot of talking. Guerdy does a lot of talking. I can understand, Guerdy is one of her and Kiki, the only 2 Black girls over here, so I gotta have my special eye out for what's going on over here with them. I gotta have a good eye and see what's going on over here. But Guerdy, I can understand why the women feel the way that they feel about you, girl. You do overtalk. She's everything that they say she is. So are the other ladies, but Guerdy, you are that too. Now, Julia, you had me fooled. And now you done made me look stupid.
What you did was you just made me look stupid.
Because I thought that you was truly sorry in what you did, but you over here trying to play victim as if what happened between you and Guerdy started with Guerdy, or as if you didn't assault Guerdy at all. Let's just say that Guerdy was wrong for spreading the information about your facelift.
Doing some work.
Let's just say she was wrong. Julia, you still was wrong for escalating it into an assault. You were still wrong for escalating it into an assault. You were. But the truth of the matter is, Guerdy spilled the tea about your face fix after you assaulted her with the drink. I don't give a damn if it was water. I don't give a damn if it was water. I don't know if it was water. It could have been alcohol. It could have been acid. I don't know what it was. But you did assault her. And I thought that you was truly sorry. If you was truly sorry, you would just stop bringing up anything that happened between you and Guerdy so y'all can move forward. But you ain't truly sorry. And you made a fool of me.
Low class, lowest class, no class.
It was also a point when they was on a trip where Guerdy tried to play mediator between Larsa and Lisa. And I think that Guerdy had good intentions by trying to separate them from the group. But when you separated them from the group, Guerdy, you should have left too. You was trying to be a real mediator. And I don't think that you have the skills for that. I don't think that you have the skills for that. You should have did exactly what Cynthia did at her little Bailey Q brunch, 4th of July Bailey Q brunch, Bailey Q, whatever it was, how she took Angela and Portia to the side and she let them have their moment where they can talk talk things out by themselves. That's what you should have did. And you left too. Then she ended up taking Portia out and ended up bringing Shamil in.
And you placed her further.
And she left. She didn't know what was going on. See, Guerdy, you messy. You trying to play into what happened. Don't nobody need no mediator all up into the conversation. Let them air it out. Now, you could have been somewhere close inside, but you shouldn't have been in earshot. Now, if they girls got the swinging toward each other, you should have been able to run in between in case some swinging, in case they got the windmilling toward each other. If they got a little bit too deep, but you should have been in earshot of the conversation and trying to lead the conversation. You don't got the skills for that. I don't know if these things are in order, but this is just what I got.
I'll do the best I can with what I got. Oh!
Guerdy and Russell ended up attending couples therapy. Now, y'all know, I keep on telling y'all I'm new over here, so I don't really know what was going on. I did not know that Guerdy and Russell met in high school.
Come on, give it up! Give it up! Give it up! Give it up!
I'm always amazed at things like that because I'm pretty sure it was a whole bunch of naysayers when she told her parents, that's going to be my man, that's going to be my husband. It was like, girl, yeah, boy. Yeah, right. Girl, yeah, right. She said that when she had cancer and she was going through chemo and radiation, that she was ready to give up. And Russell told her that she couldn't give up because he needed her. And that made her fall. That made her fight.
You okay?
That's love right there, girl. Because she didn't want to do it for herself, but she wanted to do it for him because she didn't want him to be here by himself with those boys. That's love right there. The whole idea of them going to couples therapy is because Guerdy said that her having cancer wreaked havoc on their lives and she wanted things to go back the way that they used to be. But and me being honest with you, it would be hard for me not to see Guerdy as so vulnerable as she was so soon, especially if she keeps trying to have surgeries to get her body back to where it once was. Because it just seems so, she'll just seem so fragile to me. She would just seem so fragile to me. Maybe over time I will be able to forget that she, had cancer and wouldn't be so worried about her. But I would still be worried about her. Like honestly and truthfully, if it was me, if I was Russell, baby, if she would have told me what happened with Julia, baby, I would have been over there at Julia and Martina's house like a madman. I'd have been over there at Julia and Martina's house like a madman, ready to wreak havoc. I would have pushed the boys down, came through the door, pushed the boys down, pushed Martina down, and jumped on Julia. Seriously, this woman, my wife just got through chemo, and just be cancer, and you in here throwing water on her, girl? No, we're not doing that.
We're not gonna do that. We're definitely not gonna do that.
I understand both sides. I understand Guerdy wanting things to go back the way that it used to be before, but that's gonna take time because he's just gonna see her that way. He's trying to be protective of his wife, and that's what he should be doing. And so I understand both sides, but it's just gonna take time. And it's good that they're able to talk it out in therapy. I have tried therapy before. It didn't really work for me. My therapist was I don't know if I could do couples therapy. I don't know if I could do couples therapy, but my therapist I tried it one time. It was a Hispanic woman who was also part of the LGBTQ community, and it didn't really work for me. I didn't feel like that she had me doing my work. I felt like that she was trying to make me a victim of things that I went through, and I don't live my life as a victim, so it was hard for me. It was things that I really wanted to work through, and she was telling me, "Well, it's okay to feel that way because of this, and it's okay to be that way." No, I want to work through this, and so after like 7 meetings with her, I just cut off. It really didn't work for me. But people say that you gotta, find the right therapist for you. Maybe I need a Black therapist. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Next, we got Stephanie and Masood. They ended up meeting up with Stephanie's parents. Okay, so we got some clarity because I didn't know. Remember, I didn't know if the twin sisters messed with Stephanie's parents or not. So we found out the twin sisters don't fuck with the parents either.
You got really.
Okay. For me, it just seemed like Stephanie's parents. They give me that they can be bought, and they gave me that they are bought. The mama was crying. I could understand the siblings beefing and not talking. Having siblings. My mother is an only child, right? And so it's 3 of us. My mother doesn't understand that, your relationship with your siblings go through ebbs and flows, right? Y'all still love each other, but my mama don't understand that we don't talk every day. I be trying to tell her to stay out of our relationship, right? She has a relationship with all 3 of us, but our relationship with each other is our own relationship, and I have to tell her that sometimes. She be trying to be too involved in what's going on. My mama is, baby, I love that lady, but she could be a piece of work. I remember my mama's birthday is in February, right? So one year, she told us the week before Christmas, all of a sudden, she wanted a laptop for Christmas. And it was like, girl, Black Friday and something already passed. You gonna tell us the week before Christmas? You know what I'm saying? So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, she ain't gonna get no laptop for Christmas, but I will surely get my stuff together, whatever, start saving so I can get her a laptop for her birthday, right? Birthday came around. I ended up coming to Houston, went and got the laptop. Didn't ask my brother or sister to put in on the laptop or whatever. When I get gifts or whatever, it'd be from all 3 of us. So because truthfully, my brother and sister didn't give a damn about her having a laptop. They're totally different than me. I'm the child who is always worried about somebody's feelings. If my mama says something, it can work. She can say something and it'll work on me. I'm the child who always giving in. My brother them will be like, girl, I'm not getting that girl no laptop. She don't need no laptop. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one to be like, now y'all, come on now. So I went and got the laptop, and I said it was gonna be from all 3 of us, right? Got the laptop, gave it to her for her birthday. Later on in the day, we all went out to eat for my mama's birthday. And my brother picked up the tab, right? I forgot what my sister ended up doing. After the dinner, I was staying at my mom's house. And so she was like, well, why did your brother pay for the dinner? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, well, how come he paid for the dinner this time? How come nobody, everybody, y'all didn't split it? And I was like, because he just paid for the dinner. And she was like, but I just want to know why he paid for the dinner. I was like, well, and she was like, real, like, I'm like, why does it matter? Because I'm the mama and I wanted to know what he paid for the dinner for. And it took everything in me to say, girl, because he didn't pay for the laptop. I bought the laptop by myself. And he didn't really give a damn about you having a laptop. So he ended up paying for the dinner because the laptop only came from me. But it's like, girl, stay out of it. You need to just be worried about that the dinner was paid for. You got your laptop and you should be happy. But you're trying to get involved in who paid for what and what came from what. You know what I'm saying? It's like, girl, just be happy that you got what you had for. The dinner was paid for. We didn't end up in there washing dishes or whatever, and everything was good, you know? But I don't know why I said that. I'm just saying it to say that sometimes parents can be too involved in what's going on. And I think that from what's going on, it seems like that's probably what's going on with Stephanie mothers and her siblings, because I don't understand why the sisters ain't really talking to their mama like that. I could never understand that they cut all y'all off. It seems like that y'all are over there being bought, and y'all was probably that they was over there being bought, and they was over there taking Stephanie's side in the matter in what was going on. Now we also found out that Masood is a year younger than Stephanie's father. I could never. I could never. Okay. Well, listen. In my neighborhood, in my neighborhood, I had one off to college once we graduated high school. But a couple of my friends and stuff, they ended up staying home. They didn't go to college, right? And I remember coming home for the summertime, and one of my good friends, me and her parents, my dad and her mother actually went to high school together, right? She was dating a man that was in high school with our parents.
When I tell you, my damn heart like to dropped out my chest, okay?
And I was shocked. And it was not that she was talking to a grown man, because you know, all of my friends and stuff was talking to grown men when we was in high school.
In some ways.
Right. So it wasn't that the fact that she was talking to a grown man, it was the fact that she was talking to a peer of our parents, like a person who was actually in high school. I thought that was too grown for me. I thought that was too grown. You know, talking to somebody grown, yeah, but somebody that went to school with our parents, that was too grown. And I just wouldn't want, I don't know. I thought that they were strange. I did date when I was 28 or 29 years old. I ended up dating a man who was like 3 years younger than my mama. That's the furthest I ever went. To me, I feel like if they my mama age, and I know y'all looking at me like, bitch, 3 years ain't too 3 years ain't too young, but he ain't my mama peer, right? This man was from Jamaica. My mama was born, you know, and my mama is from Houston. So that's totally different. But yeah, he was like 3 years younger than my mama, and he had a grandchild too, baby. And I used to, he had his daughter had a little boy, baby, and that grandpa was doing some things to me. Do you hear me? Baby, that man was over there trying to groom me, so I had to let that shit go, baby. I can't be walking around here going crazy. And I gotta have my pride, baby. That grandpa was doing some things to me. Do you hear me? But that is the closest I ever got. My mother and father, my dad is 4 years older than my mom. But that's the closest I ever got to dating someone close to my parents' age. And I do like older. I don't too much go under. To me, younger, I don't know. To me, younger is kind of crazy to me. Any type of younger. But I usually like older, but not really close to my parents' age. I don't know. That's just weird for me. But again, I think that, you know, I believe that Stephanie's father probably would have a problem with it if Masood didn't come with the money that he had.
Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that.
So it's giving me that they over there being bought. I don't think that they like that man is over there younger, 1 year younger than him. But we found out that Masood and Stephanie's parents has been together since they was in high school. They've been together for over 30 or 40 years, I believe, that they said in the episode. I'm not sure. Maybe it was 40 because it was before Stephanie was born. And I think that they said that she was 41 or 42. So they've been together 40, maybe 50 years. I want to say, yeah, 50. 50 years because they had been together since they were 17. And I believe he was 67 and Masood is 65. Something like that. I think it was 50 years, but that is, you know, you don't meet 50 every day. That's a big deal. And just to be, you'll be happy to make it to 50 years old sometime. To be together with a spouse that's 50 years is amazing. We ended up having Julia. Julia ended up meeting with a social worker. The social worker that came over, their name was Connie. Okay, she was there to evaluate Julia and Martina as they was in the final stages of adopting the boys because she don't really got them like she adopted them yet. I really want to know more about the boys' background. They look biracial to me. Not that not that there's anything wrong with it, but we're gonna talk about it in a minute. But I'm just saying it's not that they just look biracial to me. They don't look fully black to me, and I'm not trying to police blackness or anything like that. They just give me, biracial. But Connie wanted to know who would serve as a role model for the boys. I don't think that was a question that should have been asked. In my opinion, women raise boys all the time without men help, and I'm sure men raise daughters all the time without some women help. So I don't think that was a question that should have been asked. But she said that her brother would be a male role model in the kid's life, that he video calls them frequently. Girl, that ain't really nothing. You know what I'm saying? But she said that her brother is already a part of the boy's life. I do wonder if there's going to be some black role models in the boy's life. Not that it's necessarily needed. I just want to know if they're going to see them and other people in their life. I remember when I first moved to LA, I was working in West Hollywood. My first December in LA, because I ended up moving. I ended up moving in LA in like September. It was in September. I ended up moving to LA, but my first December there, it was like a real culture shock for me because in West Hollywood, it ended up being a culture shock to me because in West Hollywood specifically, it was like a gay city where you saw gay couples married and living with children, right? And this white man stopped me one day and he asked me, did I know where they could find a black Santa Claus at? Him and his husband were both white and they ended up adopting two brothers. And they wanted the kids to take pictures with Santa Claus, but they wanted to be a black Santa Claus. Because every year he said they switched out. So it would be this was his first year having the kids. No, this is his second year having the kids. And the year before they took pictures with a white Santa. And this year this particular year they wanted to take pictures with a black Santa Claus. And they wanted to do do a black one, white one, black one, white one every year. And I told him I didn't know that I was new to LA and that I would get back with him. So I ended up getting him in contact with my manager who was born and raised in LA at the time. And he sent the man over there to Crenshaw.
The ghetto.
It's not the ghetto?
It's not the ghetto.
Right.
Please don't.
But come to think of it, all of those married couples that I've seen in LA had black children. All of them had black children. And I really never, truthfully, I never really put into thought in me getting married to somebody until I moved to LA and started working in West Hollywood because I've never really seen it before. And until I seen those couples in West Hollywood, they was living just like it was, like it was normal. Nobody was calling them faggots or nothing like that. Nobody was saying nothing. It was just like a everyday thing. You would see people. That was my first time seeing, again, in Houston. I did go out to gay clubs and stuff before I left LA, but it wasn't nothing like I saw in West Hollywood. I think that living in LA was my first time seeing two men walking down the street holding hands. I don't think that I don't been to gay clubs, and don't get me wrong, I don't seen people do stuff inside of a gay club before. More than that, baby.
Yes.
No shade.
But I'm just saying that was my first time seeing people just walk down the street and just holding hands like it was nothing. I do wonder what those kids will, what black role models that Julia and Martina will have for the kids. But I am glad they adopted them. I'm glad that Martina has an experience or will have an experience in raising children. And Julia will have an experience of raising boys because to my knowledge, I believe that Julia has 3 daughters, right? So in some aspect, this would be the first for the both of them, being that Julia never raised boys before and Martina never raised children at all. And I do think that they'll be good parents, and especially Martina. I do think that Martina will be a good parent. Larsa and Lisa meet up. Child, I'm so tired of Larsa and Lisa. They getting on my nerves because to me, they both are the same. It's hard for me to take what Larsa is saying to Lisa serious because to me, they're both narcissists. And I think that Larsa is just really upset that Lisa and Jody are friends with Marcus, or at least Jody is friends with Marcus, and she's really trying to cut him off. But I want to say, I forgot, I didn't even write this down. This just popped up in my head. They said, I believe Lisa accused Larsa of giving the tabloids the picture of him snorting coke.
You a motherfucking liar. You knew that?
But how did Larsa get that picture? Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that they was in Paris. I believe Marcus was in Paris watching the Olympics at that time. And I remember when that picture got on the web. So I wonder how that happened. You know, but they ended up hugging at the end. I don't really too much care about what Lisa and Larsa got going on. I really don't, y'all. But again, that was the episode, y'all. It was an okay episode. It was an okay episode, but this was a hard episode for Lisa, I must say. The girls really did attack her at the beginning. And to me, that Stephanie got too much opinion for what's going on the show with the girls in group for her to just be getting there. She do got a lot of opinion going on, but I don't know. I feel like when you a new cast member, I'm gonna show you down if you do and you down if you don't, because you can't come in too timid and too soft, but you can't come in too ready, right? You got to come in like Angela. But you know, that was the episode. Thank y'all so much for clicking on the video. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that do you think it was necessary for the social worker to ask Julia whether or not that they was going to have any male role models in their lives? And do y'all think that there should be some black role models in the kids' life? And let me know. I want to know, have y'all messed with somebody older or near your parents' age? Or do you think or is that a deal breaker for you? It could be, money changes a lot. Money changes a lot. But I don't think that I'm ready to jump off there with somebody that's close to my parents' age. But I'm looking for my David Jeffin.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Be very clear.
I'm looking for my David Jeffin. But David Jeffin is older than my mama and my daddy. David Jeffin is older than my grandparents. David Jeffin is older than my grandparents. But if David Jeffin was talking to me, baby, David Jeffin would be able to come to Thanksgiving dinner, baby. Yes, he would. But thank y'all so much for clicking on the video, y'all. I really appreciate the love and support. When I get through editing this video, I'm going to go and watch episode 7, and then I'm going to try to put that out as soon as possible. But thank y'all so much for the love and support, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.
Call Daddy, tell him 25. Call Daddy, tell him 25. Call Daddy, tell him 25. Oh, cool.